Israel-Hamas war. This is also another biggest formidable challenge for the Indian foreign policy. Okay, for the last 400 days, we have been successfully dealing with the Russia-Ukraine war on the global scale. We didn't take any stand on any side, or either Ukraine or Russia. We are maintaining a well-balanced neutral stand. Okay, India got the laurels of all. India receives the accolades of almost all countries because of its well-balanced foreign policy, reflecting its traditional foreign policy of the last 75 years. This is the consensus as far as the foreign policy is concerned. Indian political system, India socio-economical, cultural, particularly political system is taking consensus stand. That's what reflected as far as the Ukraine-Russia war is concerned. But what about that kind of consensus stand as far as this present ongoing the fresh Ukraine-Israel war? This is the question now. So on October 27th, huge Pandora box again opened up. That is the Middle East carnage, Middle East vexed problem again reignited in the form of the Hamas terrible and appalling attack on the southern Israel, which cost around 1,400 Israeli people. You know, Hamas is a so-called terrorist organization. Of course, the act of October 7th, it is forced everybody to treat this Hamas as a terrorist organization, because this is the attack, appalling, terrible attack on the Israeli people, innocent Israeli people especially, it is a condemnable on any grounds, either moral, humanitarian, and any UN charter, etc., etc. So the retaliatory step from the Israel is also justifiable based on this appalling attack. But the question is, why this, as Guterres, UN Secretary General Guterres told, this October 7th Hamas attack against Israeli people is not happened in vacuum. This is the question. This is the raised under concern. Okay, and the Israeli retaliation, Israeli response to this one, that's what collective punishment for the Hamas people, this is Israeli people, especially Gaza, 2.2 million people of the Gaza. This is a collective punishment on the pretext of the self-defense, sovereignty, and in a retaliatory or preemptive attack to this Hamas to prevent further attack like this October 7th attack. This is also justifiable, no doubt at all. Hamas attack is not happened in vacuum, because why? This for the last 56 years, actually this is for the last 75, since 1947, the Israeli people are facing breathless trouble, violence from the Israel. Israelis refused to recognize the existence, the motherland of these Arab people. They have been living there from the 7th century AD. Okay, they have been living in 7th century AD. As far as this Palestinian homeland is concerned, Israel has been persistently refusing. That is why they chose to do this violent attack. But of course, one thing we have to understand: on the part of Hamas, the attack is justifiable, because the Israelis refusing, persistently and consistently refusing this Palestinian existence, Palestinian people, Arab people existence. In that context, this is the Hamas, any kind of step from the Hamas is justifiable. But this violent step is not justifiable in the context of the Yasser Arafat. Yasser Arafat is one of the legend leader of on the behalf of these Palestinian people. He had chosen the non-violent in the lines of Mahatma Gandhi. For that purpose, he got Nobel Peace Prize in 2000 in the Oslo, this Camp David Accord, etc., etc. These accords almost paved the way for the resolution of this West Asian trouble in a peaceful manner. But this Hamas attack completely destroyed what this Yasser Arafat has built up, this peaceful resolution for decades. So on this part of this Hamas attack is completely condemnable. That's why it is not uncommon to brand this as a terrorist organization. That's why Israeli response is also justifiable. But however, these Hamas people Hamas is backed by this Iran and other these Arab nations. This Hamas is clearly, absolutely known that Israeli response. Once they attack, Israel, the regional, powerful and sophisticated nation in the context of this military power, that they knows clearly, the Hamas knows clearly the response. But which means the Hamas is put the innocent people pushed the innocent people into the battleground against such a sophisticated military power. That is what Israel, they knows, because since 1947 Israel responded to any kind of minute violent act of this on this part. This Israeli responded violently. So 1400 people since 1947, this is the biggest terrible attack that Israel faced. So Israeli response is clearly known by every party which is supporting this Hamas, even Hamas, this Fatah and the present Palestinian PLA government, etc., etc. That's why Israel is tactically pushing the innocent people into the battleground against this Israeli people. Now Israel response is condemnable. What Israel doing now? Okay, forget about the October 7. What Israel doing in Gaza? In the only around 1000 square kilometer area, less than 1000 square kilometer area, this one, and only few hundred square kilometer area, this especially this Gaza, forget about the PLO area, total PL, Gaza Strip, West Bank, only this Gaza Strip, within this one around 2.2 million people are living, okay, miserably. So miserably because they don't have any freedom, they don't have state. This is a semi-state, only as a semi-state the UNO recognized it. 2.2 million people. Israel contained them, stopped, cut down every linkages. Now these are suffocating like a camp. So they are facing sophisticated weapon of the 21st century. What weapons? F-35 fighters, that is the 5th generation sophisticated fighters. They are facing F-16, 4th gen or 3.5 gen, and Iron Dome, laser guided missiles. Okay, every kind of modern, because this Israel is a modern nation in terms of the military, that too backed by United States of America, other Western superpowers. So Israel is using every kind of modern weapon against the Gaza. It is not a state, it is a non-state, almost innocent people. Hamas, of course, Hamas is there in Gaza Strip, but this Hamas is where? Nowhere in this one, in the bunkers, etc., etc. In order to kill this Hamas, minute Hamas in the 2.2 Gaza Strip area, Israel is using weapons against the Gaza, whole Gaza Strip. This is what collective punishment, absolutely collective punishment. That is why Israel should stop according to moral, humanitarian, United Nations Charter, humanitarian charter, etc., etc. So Israel should not continue this kind of collective punishment. But Israel has every right to destroy this Hamas. But Israel should find how to destroy this Hamas, rather than the killing whole innocent, attacking the whole Hamas, this Gaza Strip area. So this is what the international concern. Now comes to the India's foreign policy. As far as this Indian foreign policy is concerned, now India is supporting this Israel wholeheartedly on the pretext or on the rational question of this Hamas, this October 17 appalling attack. So based on this one, India is supporting Israel. So India abstained from the UNO resolution time, abstained from the UNO resolution, UNSC, etc., etc. So India clearly supporting Israel as far as this present ongoing Hamas and Israel war is concerned. Now this is the question, whether it is justifiable or not. So as far as this question is concerned, every time this traditionally Indian political scenario, political system is consensus based. But now this India is heading towards the elections within a few months, that is the 18th general election. In this context, this political competition is there. Now this becomes the biggest question now. These opposition parties are asking the government to support the Israel. Not only to support, or follow the traditional balanced foreign policy. This is the demand extract from this opposition parties. Whereas this ruling government is supporting this Israel, tilting somewhat towards Israel. Of course, I don't want to supporting the government is supporting Israel, but tilting towards this Israel. Because some people are criticizing this is because of right-wing government in India, right-wing government in Netanyahu-led government in Israel. But I don't think this is as far as the Indian foreign policy is concerned. Though it is right-wing government is there in India, the so-called right-wing government, it may not sacrifice the interest. Because for the last 10 years, the Modi government has succeeded a lot and got a lot of accolades as far as its successful astute foreign policy is concerned. World is plunged into this pandemic scenario and other recession situations, etc., etc. But India, because of its astute foreign policy, okay, it got a lot of wins. That is the G20 presidency and Russia-Ukraine. During this one, India got a lot of economic benefits, though world split down, etc., etc. So India, though it is a right-wing government, it is never to sacrifice various national interests for the sake of Israel. So I don't think that this is the right-wing government tilted towards other right-wing government in Netanyahu. I don't think this. But however, the recent tradition, this Indian foreign policy decision on as far as this Hamas-Israel war is concerned, somewhat distraction, aberration from the India's traditional foreign policy. Okay, let's discuss about the traditional trade foreign policy of India. The Indian foreign policy is relying upon, or else the Indian foreign policy setup emanated from the various factors like India's long living civilization history, its a long history, it's a struggle against the Britishers around 2.5 centuries, a struggle against colonialism, imperialism, and against this kind of apartheid. Okay, this against some kind of this international exploitation, and also India's culture, India's secular features, India's democracy, and India's Article 56 of the Indian Constitution, which says that the Indian government should endeavor towards the internal peace and tranquility. So based on this one, India got its foreign policy, and also Mahatma Gandhi is also expressed a lot of things regarding the world. For example, as far as this Israeli problem is concerned, Mahatma Gandhi was dead against to create a Jewish state in Middle East, especially in the area of the Arab area. So that influenced the Nehru foreign policy, because suddenly, immediately after the Second World War, suddenly Britain and United States of America and collected these all Jewish people and pushed and created a land, a Jewish land in the Palestinian territory, where the Arabs have been living since 7th century AD. Before that, there was a Jewish state, no doubt at all. Later, the Jews dispersed across the globe. But suddenly, after around 1 millennium, 1.2, around 1200 years, the Jews came and reclaimed this Palestine, this state as a Jewish state. That's what Jerusalem, as a headquarters of Jerusalem. Mahatma Gandhi was against, because the consequences were far-reaching. Now we can see the consequences. Mahatma Gandhi expressed these feelings in 1945 or 46. But now, since 1945, as Mahatma Gandhi feared, this is a vexed problem. It is still a burning problem in the world. So Mahatma Gandhi is right as far as his opinion is concerned. So whatever that happened is happened. So Indian foreign policy, immediately after the independence, Nehru, the first Prime Minister, supported this Palestinian cause in view of India's foreign policy balanced approach, and also at that time Indian foreign policy is more ideological in nature. But however, in view of the India's huge Muslim population, our interest in the Middle East, our neighborhood, etc., we supported Palestinian causes. This has been continuing up to 1991. But however, in 1991, in the changed geopolitical situation because of the demolition of the USSR and this unipolar world and the India's new economic reforms, these are all forced India to have balanced, that is forced India to devise a pragmatic foreign policy. Pragmatic foreign policy is nothing but to give more priority to India's national interest than the ideological. However, India has been continuing supporting Palestinian cause. On the other hand, we have started to improve the relations with Israel. That is what the de-hyphenization of this Israel-Palestinian crisis. We maintained a balanced foreign policy. So that is what. So during this recent present Modi's government, we completely supported the Palestine, tilted towards Israel. Indian Prime Minister visited this one. Israeli Prime Minister and high delegations visited India so many times. So we have this strategic relation. When the part of I2U2, the recent this linkages, IMEC, India, Middle East, Europe corridor, where Israel is an integral part. So we had a great relationship. It is justifiable because even Arab countries, the so-called Arab countries like Saudi Arabia, even other great countries like Egypt, Qatar, UAE, everybody maintaining their greatest relationship with Israel. They are improving. Why not India? So in view of this one, so it is a justifiable. But however, the present government support, some tilting towards Israel is not augur well for the India's interest. In view of most of the important NRIs, remittances are coming from this Middle East. We have a lot of oil, the energy security is there, India's neighborhood, our India's present global, India's aspiration to become global power, to supporting global south like in G20. So these are all against this one. So there is some kind of prejudicial. Some analysts are criticizing that present India's foreign policy is stand as far as this Hamas-Israel war is concerned. It is more prejudicial than reality, than open-minded foreign policy. So however, in this context, it is better to maintain a traditional foreign policy by maintaining neutral status. That is a balanced. Of course, may not be. It is a positive neutrality, not a negative, complete neutrality. Complete neutrality is not at all possible in the present global situation in the context of the India's aspiration to become the global power. But however, like treating this Ukraine-Russia war, it is better to have a neutral and balanced foreign policy as far as the present ongoing Hamas and Israel war. This is the better for India's foreign policy. Another important thing is the national political party should not split and should maintain consensus mode as far as our traditional foreign policy is concerned. That's why the opposition parties led by this Congress, this India, etc., should not criticize the government as far as this one. But it is a positive, of course, on the part of this democratic front and democratic traditional system, opposition parties have the every right to criticize and to put the critical outlook, to critical appraise of the foreign policy stand of the government. However, it should not be appear as a split foreign policy. It should be appear as a consensus based, very important for as far as the growing India and for the people. It should not confuse also.